Okay, this is the first in a series of videos on using My Maps, Google My Maps to create farm paddock layout and design. So if you just search for Google My Maps, you'll be taken to this page here, and we just click into Get Started. You can see up in the corner here, I've logged into my Google account already. So if you're not logged in, it'll ask you to log in at this stage. Um, Up here along the top, these are the maps that I've already created, but up here on the top you'll see create a new map. So if we click create a new map, you'll be taken to this page here. So this is the My Maps page. So up here on top you'll see, so you can create a title for your map. There's layers, shares, your actual layers then, so that's that layer, then your actual layers are down here on your base map. So the first thing we're just going to do is going to give this title. So, and hit save. So that's created the name at the top. The next thing then we'll just zoom in, so you can type in postcode up here in this area, or we can zoom in. So we'll just zoom into the college here. Um, yeah, so here we are. And with this stage now, if we want, we can change the base map. So obviously it's going to be very hard to map a paddock if we can't see the fields. So by clicking on this guy here, this arrow here, we can go across to a satellite view, and it will show us a satellite view of the area that we're looking at. So if we zoom in and let's say we want to map this field here. Along here we have a number of different buttons. So pen, add marker, add a line, okay, and measure. So I'm going to create on this layer. So we'll give this layer a name. So we'll just call it existing fields, and we'll hit save. So on that layer, then I'm going to measure this area here. So I'm going to click add line or shape, and then starting off at the fence line here, we'll follow that fence line along here to the gate, from the fence line down there up here, and I can just use the mouse wheel to roll in and roll out. Again, just pointing the cursor where I want to go, and just coming along the boundary here. And to close this shape, then you can see when I hover back over the point where I started, it'll change to a hand. So it's important that we just close the shape completely, so that rather than a line, what we'll end up with a polygon. So if I click there, this has created a polygon. Okay, so it's now asking me for a name of this polygon and to save it. So we can just change the name here. So we just call this field 1 and hit save. I can see immediately now it's telling me that this field is 1.52 hectares. It's telling me the boundary is 536 meters. I can change the style and the color here if I want to. If I wanted to use this, so if I wanted to change it to red, I can change the transparency of the fill if I want here, or I can change the thickness of the outside boundary line as well. Okay. So let's say we want to divide that. So we're saying if I click on that again, it's saying it's 1.52 hectares. I want to divide that now into three 0.5 hectare paddocks. Okay. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to create another layer. So add a layer, and we're going to call it paddocks. Hit save. And now I'm just going to draw on that layer. So you can see this is now highlighted blue. I'm going to go back and I'm going to draw another shape, add a line or a shape. And I'm just going to follow this boundary around. I'm going to come down to what I think is roughly a third uh, of that field. And again, making sure that my last point, I'm hovering over the first point to close that shape. This is going to be called Paddock 1. I'd save. And look, it actually turned out to be 0.5 0.8 of a hectare. So look, I suppose that was a lucky guess. But if I just come in here, if I wanted to, let's say I wanted to make that 0.6, if I catch this and pull it across and catch this guy and pull it across, and now if I click off and click back on, you see it's at 0.59, so it's close to 0.6 there. So we want to go back. We'll go back to. I want to get back to 0.5. Click off, click back on again. 0.53 I'm at, so we'll pull it back in another small bit. Again, I'm going to try and keep it parallel to the outside fence as much as I can by eye. So 0.497. Okay, so I think that's close enough. What we can do there as well is we can either we could put the area in here if we wanted to, or put the area in here. So 0.497 or even hectares. Okay, to be honest, we're around that up here actually, 0.5, aren't we? But as I say, so that's our first paddock. Now we want to create a second paddock, so we're still on the same layer. I'm going to click add line or shape. So again, look, we're going to follow this fence line here. We'll start there, come across to here, up to here. I'm guessing somewhere around here near the tree. Back over, then kind of trying to keep it as reasonably parallel to the last one, and then finally I'll just zoom out and zoom back in again. I want to come back up and again make sure that changes to a hand to close that shape. I'd save, and that's 0.478. Okay, so again we're very close to the 0.5. Sorry, now it's after picking up the field behind. You can see it's telling me 1.52, but you can see the dots. It's the actual shape at the back that it's picking up. Okay, if I want to come over here on this side, I can make sure that I'm picking up the right one. So 0.478. So again, we're going to rename this. So we call it P for paddock 2, and we're saying 0.478 hectares. Save. And then finally, we're going to add our paddock 3, again adding our line or shape. So starting that point over to here. Zoom out a little bit so we can see our lines here. And then following back along the boundary here. Just rolling in and out of the bounce wheel again so I can see this first point. And now finally that's changed to a hand, so that's going to close that shape. And again, if I just save that 0.48, so I'm a little bit big. So P3, and if we want, we might pull that lad. We pull him back down a little bit to here, and maybe make the sky a little bit bigger, so pull him down to match him. So now we have 0.52, 0.497, and 0.497. Okay, so we have three reasonably well divided paddocks. Now look, I can stay tweaking that. So again, we're saying just cancel. This is 0.52. So again, I'm just going to put in 0.52 hectares and save. So now I have my three paddocks there. I can turn off my existing field. Okay. And I have my three paddocks. Now what I can do here if I want to is you can see here currently we have individual styles for all those, but if I change that by clicking on the roller there, and we're going to change select uniform style here. So with uniform style with no labels, we might change this to the labels are actually the names. So P1, P2, P3, and because I've put in the area in as part of the name, that can be seen as well. And then all items. So if I want to change all items there, I can change the polygon transparency. Let's say we want to make this a blue boundary, and we just increase the thickness of that. Okay, so now I have my three paddocks, and at this stage now if I want to, I can change my base map. So by turning, now we're currently on satellite, so we'll just go back to map, and now I have my three paddocks drawn in there. Okay, and that's automatically saved to your maps. Okay, so I hope that gives you a good understanding of how that works.